All right, what's going on, guys? Today I want to go over my 3FUL Gear Lanshan 2 tent. I picked this up off of AliExpress a couple months back. I got it for 129 bucks. They're also selling on Amazon for right around the same price. Mine's green. Typically the Amazon ones you're going to find are yellow or white. The stuff sack is yellow, but the tent itself is actually green. According to my scale, this thing weighs 2.6 pounds. That's the whole tent, the stakes, and the whole works. The only thing it doesn't come with are poles. You have to supply your own trekking poles, which most of us are hiking with anyway. Mine are set at the 120 centimeters, otherwise approximately 47 inches, which just happens to be the height that I hike with. So it works out pretty good. I use my poles to camp and I'm all set. So I'm gonna go ahead, set this thing up. I'm gonna bring you back and I'm gonna show you all the features. All right, as you can see, I got it all set up. I set a stopwatch just to see how long it would take, and it took me 4 minutes and 18 seconds. And that was just doing it leisurely. I wasn't in a big rush. I bet you could cut that time in half probably if you're really pushing it, especially if you're in the rain, wanting to get yourself set up. I'll show you right here. These are the stakes that came with mine. It came with 9 of them. It only takes 8, so there is 1 extra. And the stuff sack that the tent stakes come in also includes 2 patch material for in case you get a small hole in it or something. Actually, you could probably get quite a large hole with the pieces they give you. And when I'm all done, I'm going to show you how to fold it up and get it right back in the original sack. Some people have problems with them. They try to stuff them, they can't roll them right, or they end up putting them in a larger stuff sack because they just can't get it back in. I'll show you the right way to get it back in. So as I stated before, mine's green. I wanted something just a little more natural color, even though this isn't like a natural green. I wasn't crazy about white or yellow. And then you notice here, mine's got the Flames Creed brand on it, which is still 3FUL. It just has it's just a different brand that they put on it. There's also, I believe, Meyer is the other brand. And while we're looking at the outside, there's a few key points to pay attention to. Anywhere there's some stitching on it, which is going to be there. Even right here, it's on the bottom. It's not that big of a deal. Especially here on the side loop. You're going to want to seam seal anywhere it's stitched because they've been prone to leakage. I was in a rainstorm and I had a couple drips come through right here, and I did seam seal it, but I'm going to hit it a little bit better to do a better job on it. Also here on top where the stitching is, you probably want to make sure you hit that too. This is held up with trekking poles, and you'll notice there is a tie loop right here. You could actually run a piece of paracord or some rope or something, and you could string this up to a tree to suspend it if you didn't have or didn't want to use your trekking poles. And looking at this area here, this is a vent that's wide open. There's mesh on top. There's one of these vents on both sides, and it's held open all the time by the tension cord, which runs down to, it's a double tensioner, which also holds your door open. What really turned me on to this tent, besides the fact that it was under 3 pounds, is the fact that the rain fly is built in. And if you look here, there's an air gap on the bottom. So if you position yourself just right to the wind, you can get a cross breeze blowing it underneath there. So you'll always have some ventilation. All right, let me open this up and then show you the inside. Now, when we're looking at the rain fly here, the zippers don't have the pulls on them, so they don't say, but I think they might be YKK zippers, just like the 3FUL packs have. And if you look inside the flap that covers the zipper, they've got some nice Velcro to seal it off. And this flap overlaps really nice, so you're not going to get any rain in there. And you notice the tent body down here, there is a little loop that goes around the trekking pole to hold it open. And what I love about this tent is it's basically a double wall. Let me show you right here. The rain fly is completely separate from the mesh. So you got the mesh to keep the bugs out, and with the rain fly being separate, any condensation you get is going to roll right off and out. And even if you're touching the tent body, you're not going to get any moisture on you. But with this ventilation, and you get the crosswind blowing through here, I mean, I've had 0 condensation in the 5 nights that I've used it. We'll get you a shot here with the rain fly rolled up, and I have the door rolled up. The door only goes on half of the side of the tent from the trekking pole to the side, And you can see on the other side, it's on the opposite corner, there's another door. And you can see here the vestibule area. With me sitting in it, you can see how much space you'd actually have in there. So you could roll up this door too if you'd like to, because there is a tie out there, and then you can have this whole side wide open. You can do that to both sides and have full mesh right through the side, getting a nice cross breeze. When we look inside the tent, you can see there's a gear pocket on that end and on that end. And up on the ridge line there's a gear hook. And there's another one right above us here. So you could string a line across if you want, and then hang your laundry if you want to, if you need it to dry out. Climb in here a little bit, and you can see the size of the vestibule with it closed. Now this is said to be a 2-person tent, and it's a little bit cramped. I took my daughter on an overnight trip, and we had, both of us were in here side by side. With a kid, there was plenty of room for the two of us. I would think with 2 small to medium adults, you would have enough room. It's going to be cramped. You better like the person you're with, but it will work. And then, so I'll show some footage of that in just a second here. And then I also throw in some footage of another trip I took where I was solo. You could see how much room I have with just me in here and some of my gear. Here's the inside of the Lanshan 2 tent. You can see it's gonna be close, side by side for the two of us, but I'll give you an idea what my sleeping arrangements are. I've got the T&H inflatable pad, my Kelty Cosmic 40 down bag, the rugged camp inflatable pillow. And you can see I got plenty of room in here for the rest of my junk. So there's a quick overview of the tent. Let me knock this thing down, and then let me show you how to properly fold it up so we can get it back in the original stuff sack, and then I'll tell you my final thoughts on what I think about this tent. Okay, so here's how I like to fold it up. First thing you're going to want to do is make sure everything's pulled in out of the way. Get any ropes and stuff in towards the middle, and then try to keep the ends of these rain fly even with the tent body. And there will be a little bit of stuff bunched up right here. So you essentially just have your tent body. And what you're going to do is you're going to take one side and fold it into the middle to about the halfway point. Just keep everything all tucked in nice. Then you're going to grab the other side and you're going to fold that into the middle. Again, keeping everything all tucked in nice and neat. So now you basically have both halves of the floor are touching. Then take it and fold it one more time. So it's folded in half. And then if you want to double check for yourself, you could take your stuff sack and make sure you're smaller than that, which we definitely are. And just start from one end and start rolling it up. You'll occasionally have to straighten this out just a little bit, squeezing some of the air out as you go. And you roll it up till you have that essentially. Now, diameter wise, it's going to be close. You'll have to squeeze it a little bit to get past this, the part of the roll top. It all depends on how tightly you roll it. If you roll it tighter, it'll be a little bit easier. If you're a little bit sloppier on it, it's going to be a little bit harder to go in. Roll your top, squeeze out some of the air. Put your clips on. You can cinch them nice and tight. And there you go, you got it all rolled up nice and compact. So there you have it. That was the 3F UL Gear Lanshan 2 tent. What do I think about this tent? I think this tent is awesome. For the price, you're getting such a lightweight tent that packs down so small. I mean, this will fit in just about any pack. You can even tie it to the outside if you really were cramped for space, which I can't see why you would for this. Aside from the fact that you're gonna have to do a little seam sealing when you get it, but you know what? You're gonna probably set it up in your backyard anyway as a practice. Take that time, make sure everything is seam sealed, and you're gonna be ready to go for that trip. Would I buy this tent again if something ever happened to it? Absolutely. This thing is great. It's easy to set up. Other than that one minor leak I had, which was again due to seam sealing, which was on me for not doing a good job. The size to weight ratio on this thing is excellent. This can fit me and all my gear, and I have more than enough room to add another person if I really had to. Ideally, I would like to have just myself in here because I like to stretch out and have my stuff organized, but without a doubt, you could fit 2 people in here and still function with all your gear in the vestibule areas. Vestibule areas are huge. You can easily store your gear in there, and you could cook in there if you had to. Now, prior to this, I was using freestanding tents that had the mesh body and then the separate rain fly you had to put on. This has now become my go-to tent. If anything happens to this, I will definitely be buying another one, and I recommend this to anybody who wants one. So hopefully you found this video useful. If there's something that I missed or you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below or your question. I'll do my best to answer it. If you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have you subscribe. Feel free to click that bell icon down below so you get notified of future videos. If you'd like to follow me on Facebook or Instagram, I have links down below. And as always, thanks for watching.